Ivory poaching has been a problem for a long time and has caused portions of the elephant population in Africa to be on the verge of extinction. Consumers around the globe have had a high demand for ivory for decades. In a story reported by the African Wildlife Foundation, two infamous elephants of Kenya, Mountain Bull and Satao, have recently fallen victim to the market, with the great Satao being seen hiding its tusks before its death, as if it knew they made it significantly vulnerable to attacks. Reading this story made me realize how terrible the human race has been in making a positive impact in our environments, and that we cannot even maintain nature's greatest creations. I used to love studying biology throughout my high school years, and this story made me sad as an elephant fan. But I also wondered how elephants adjust when it comes to Mother Nature, always finding ways to adapt to a world dominated by the human race. As rapid a rate elephants with tusks are being killed, the population of elephants have been adapting and changing just as rapidly. Tuskless elephants have been appearing at an alarming rate, with elephants being the ones who are most likely to get the tuskless gene. Males have been growing smaller and smaller tusks as generations go by, but that still doesn't save them from poaching. In this speech, I plan to inform the audience about the effects humans have had on the African elephant population becoming tuskless, whether this trend is a factor of natural selection or artificial. I will go over the alarming statistics that have been occurring in African populations, and I will discuss the many things scientists around the world have been saying about the current event, whether it be a positive or a negative. First, I'm going to talk about the statistics just to get that over with. It is almost rare that an elephant is born without tusks. Normally, 2 to 6% of elephants are born without them. But in areas where the killing of elephants happened at a mass rate, such as in Mozambique during the 1977 to 92 Civil War, something interesting was happening. As in Mozambique's Gorongosa National Park, biologist Joyce Poole, an elephant ethologist, co-director of Elephant Voices, and former AWF researcher, has found that tusklessness is much higher, about 32%. Similar trends have been observed in other national parks across Africa, such as in Rural National Park and Silos Game Reserve in Tanzania, as well as Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda, where tusklessness rates were usually around 35% of elephants 25 years or older. Next, scientists around the globe have been discussing this topic regarding how should this necessarily be a positive as tuskless-born elephants are more likely to survive from poaching. Since elephants are appearing tuskless, this could be good news in terms these elephants signify the continuation of the African elephant race as a whole. Yet I believe this topic could be better concluded by this quote by a particular scientist. According to University of Ohio behavior ecologist Ryan Long, when a species loses a defining feature, it is difficult to celebrate. A largely tuskless herd does not look like an elephant population anymore. Something's missing. It is unfortunate to see elephants beginning to lose one of their defining features, and to see a herd without tusks feels quite odd, as if something is missing. The future of the elephant race won't look nothing like the elephants we all grew up to admire in films and the ones we learned about being used in wars of ancient history. They will only be a legend, just like the legendary mammoth is in our museums today. We will have to explain to our future generations that it was our fault that this happened. The rate at which elephants have been becoming tuskless should be seen more as a factor of artificial selection more than natural, because this process is being caused by humans. If it weren't for poaching, millions of tusked elephants would still be alive on the continent of Africa today, just as historical as they were in ancient times. To conclude, I will go over a review of what we just learned as well as a question for the audience to think about. First, we learned that two infamous elephants in Africa, in Kenya, were recently fallen victim to the ivory market. Then discussed the effects poaching has had on elephant populations as well as the statistics of elephants being born tuskless. Lastly, we sought out what scientists were saying about this event regarding it being positive and what we should think about the current event as it being a process of natural or artificial selection. Ultimately, we are always forcing nature to change, and unfortunately that may have costs for future generations. We must ask ourselves, How can we do better at preserving nature's greatest creations as the dominant species on Earth? Are we doing enough, or is it just merely an inevitable consequence of our major presence on the globe? Thank you.